teacher say, Brandon, pay attention! What? Question 6. Can these two triangles be proved congruent? True story. Yes, I have saved the lives of countless people during math class. Whether we admit it or not, we love stories, don't we? We've got the imagination of a child inside all of us. Did you know that 75% of the Bible is in story form? Today, I want to show you why. But whether you're an aspiring artist or your first congruent triangles, I hope this speech will show you how story is the fundamental root of communication. Today, I want to show you the art of storytelling. How do you define a story? Well, a dictionary will tell you it's a recounting of a sequence of events, but it's a lot more than a sequence. It bridges the two ways we know reality: thinking and experiencing. Now, if we think about the word storytelling, it comes in two parts: story and telling. The story is what you say, and the telling is how you say it. Now, if we experience storytelling, it comes in two ways: implicitly and explicitly. Oral and written are implicit storytelling. You envision them with your mind's eye. Cartoons and film are explicit storytelling. Your imagination is aided by physical vision. I'll be showing you how each of these mediums expresses a meaning behind story and telling. Chapter 1, implicit storytelling. If I made the statement, I was daydreaming during math class, it wouldn't say a whole lot, would it? So earlier, instead of just stating a fact, I told that fact through a story. And suddenly that fact became an act. Instead of hearing, you saw. Did you see it? Could you imagine me beating that bully up? This leads me to the oldest and simplest form of implicit storytelling: oral. What do you think of when you hear that? For me, it's Jesus, because he taught by telling the crowd stories through parables. And what I love about it is he didn't just spell it out. He never got up to the pulpit and said, I have 3 points today. He was a little bit more creative. Instead of merely stating information, Jesus revealed truth through imagination. Philosopher Hannah Arendt writes, storytelling reveals meaning without committing the error of defining it. How does story reveal meaning? Let's look through the second meaning of implicit storytelling: written. This book is The Voyage of the Dawn Treader in C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia. Lucy Pevensey has just stumbled across an enchanting story in a magical book. Listen to this. When Lucy had finished reading, she said, "That is the loveliest story I've ever read. Oh, at least I'll read it over again." But here part of magic came into play. You couldn't turn back. "Oh, what a shame," said Lucy. "I did so want to read it again. Well, at least I must remember it. Let's see. It was about, oh dear, it's all fading away. How can I have forgotten?" And she never could remember. And ever since that day, what Lucy means by a good story is one that reminds her of the forgotten story in the magician's book. What Lucy means by a good story is one that reminds her of the forgotten story. Isn't that cool? Throughout the world of Narnia, Lewis expressed a pointed biblical worldview. He says a good story reminds us of a greater story. Man, have you ever heard a story and just thought, man, I don't know why I love that so much, but somehow it was just so good. It was just so powerful. You see, are you beginning to see the impact of stories? Chapter 2. Explicit storytelling. Now, implicit stories happen in your mind, and explicit stories happen before your eyes. In this next chapter, I'll show you the strength of telling stories through pictures. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry once said, "It's not the eyes, but the glance. It's not the lips, but the smile." The goal of good storytelling is to create the illusion of life. And life is emotion. A story, no matter how fantastical, will always resonate with reality as long as the characters are capable of feeling human emotions. That's what makes you care about the character. Take a look at this sketch. What's missing? There's a lot that goes into making a human face that most of us don't notice. The hair, the nose, the ears. But there are two very important things that are going to make this drawing alive. The eyes and the mouth. You see the difference? Everything around the face is the caricature. The eyes and the mouth create the character. Now, the hardest part about explicit storytelling is actually making that image. See, the implicit storyteller has to construct the image in the listener's mind, while the explicit storyteller actually has to transfer that image from mental to material. My final example is the latest story. Film. John Lasseter, a director at Pixar, once said, "The art challenges the technology, and the technology inspires the art." What Lasseter means by this is the act of imagining challenges the means of informing. And the means of informing inspires what we can imagine. 2 years ago, my friends and I made an independent film. And there's this one scene where an eccentric veteran named Uncle Francis is driving a car. The problem? 14-year-olds can't drive cars. So, in the end, we use an effect called green screen. What you do is you take a green sheet and drape it over the background. Later, when I'm editing, I can make those green pixels transparent and replace it with the background video. And there you have it. We just told our story. And Jared, my friend, didn't even go anywhere. Do you see how what we can imagine challenges how we inform? The art challenged the technology, and the technology inspired art. Chapter 3, the crux of the matter. Remember Lucy and Ryan? Remember how she was awestruck by this exquisite story, but just couldn't quite remember it? What Lucy means by a good story is one that reminds her of that forgotten story. Listen, the whole reason we tell stories is to remind us of that forgotten story. And not just any story, the ultimate story, written by the hand of a being captured between the pages of a book we call the Bible. There's a reason why 75% of this book is in story form. It's meant to give our finite minds this infinite picture of an almighty creator. We harness the power of stories to captivate people in a way that points them to truth, goodness, and beauty. We've looked at storytelling through 4 different mediums. Through oral, we saw how stories stimulate our imagination rather than receiving mere factual information. Written storytelling reveals how every world expresses a worldview, systems of good and bad. Telling stories through cartoons demonstrated how a caricature can become a character by creating the illusion of life. And finally, film demonstrated how what we can imagine in our story can force us to raise our means of performing our story. I wrote this speech in the hope of giving you a taste of both thinking and experiencing. One place where the 2 worlds collide. A good story. Today, I showed you